welcome back to You're Always Wrong, where I'm always right.
And you're always wrong.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Robert. And this is going to be part 2 of our episode on all the concerts we've been to. I left off with the show I went to in Atlanta with Aaron, Josh, Zach, and Brett.
Yeah.
This was...
Gang was all there except for me.
The whole gang. You wouldn't have wanted to be there.
Yeah.
You would have absolutely hated it.
I was invited, and then I was like, I'm too poor for this right now. I was in between jobs.
You didn't even know them anyways, and when I go into the story, you'll see why you would have hated it.
Oh, I know I would have. I didn't know who they are.
So it was Polyphia, Chon, they were the headliners.
Chon with a CH.
Yeah, TTNG, and then this Japanese band called Trico. And it was so fucking cool meeting and seeing a Japanese band play, but I'll get into that later.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start from the very beginning. So it was a 4-hour trip.
Yeah.
The night before, I drove there.
It was in Atlanta, you said?
Yeah, it was in Atlanta. So the night before, I went to their apartment, stayed there.
Whose apartment?
Josh and Zach's.
Oh, their apartment in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did some stuff the night before, so we couldn't really sleep. So we had to make the drive super tired.
Mm-hmm.
Brett met up with us at their apartment.
Brett from high school, not Brett from All or Nothing.
No, not Brett from All or Nothing.
Okay,
one of our other
like,
friends
what?
named Brett. No. Ginger.
Yeah.
He met up with us at their apartment the next day. Josh drove the whole way because he's a champ. I really appreciate him for that. We get there probably 3 hours early, 3 or 4 hours early.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a lot of walking around Atlanta, dodging insane homeless people.
Yeah.
There was a woman with no legs, and, I felt bad for her, and I was like, oh, well, I know she's been through a lot, I'm not going to judge her. Well, then she literally comes storming through us on a wheelchair from behind, saying, give me a light! Anybody got a light? Give me a light! And none of us smoke cigarettes, so we don't have lighters.
Yeah.
Zach probably had a lighter on him, but, we just kind of let her roll on by. And then there was this other man who had to be 109 years old. And he would walk by and he'd go, white boys walking around. And he would laugh, but it was just a long wheeze. Yeah. And we saw him 3 times.
White boys walking around.
We saw him 3 times. We saw him twice.
Why haven't you told me about that?
We saw him twice before the show. Because like I said, we were there 4 fucking hours, so we just walked around.
Wow.
We just walked around Atlanta.
Yeah.
And we saw him,
walking around.
as soon as we left the parking lot, he was right there. And he was like, white boys walking around. Saw him again an hour later on the other side of the area we were in.
Yeah.
Said the same shit. And Brett was really starting to get creeped out.
Really?
He was getting really nervous. He's like, I've never been around this many homeless people. They're kind of scaring me. And then once we're on our way to the show, like it's about to start, this guy literally just appears out of an alley, just like runs right up to Brett. It's like, hey man, my mom and dad, I got this thing. I need $20. Can I have some money? Like talking really fast. And he had like this whole bit about his mom died and his car's broke down and he's got a kid and he just needs $20 he wants crack.
Yeah.
He wants to smoke crack.
Mhm.
And Brett's like, oh yeah, dude, yeah. Gives him $30.
What?
Out of pocket gives him $30 because his parents are loaded. So he gives him $30. I think it was $30.
Brett's never been scammed by a homeless person before.
No. So he just gives him money.
I remember the first time I saw a homeless person scam and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, ever since then. Anyway,
help,
so.
Just a PSA, help the homeless through organizations, not by just giving random strangers money.
Do what you want to do with your own money.
Okay.
That's super.
I'm giving you good advice. Lindsay doesn't care about you.
Do what you want to do with your own money.
Donate to your local food charity.
Yes, for sure.
Don't just give some random crackhead $20.
If you want to, that's on you anyway.
It's almost time for the show. We got VIP tickets.
Very important person.
That's right. We all got like a $50 ticket. Josh got like an $80 ticket.
Yeah.
The reason his cost so much more is because he got to watch sound check. He got to like take pictures with the band. He never got the pictures.
Aww.
We have no idea where those pictures went, what they did with them, because they're not on their Instagram or anything.
Oh, he took the pictures, did not receive the pictures.
Yeah.
I thought you meant he just didn't do it.
No. Like, professional photographers were there. Like, that was part of paying the extra money. We all got to meet the band, but he got to go through, like I said, sound check, get pictures with them, and then when they were playing, part of the VIP thing was you got to play Super Smash Brothers projected on a huge screen behind them.
That's really funny.
But Josh was like, you know what, Zach? I want you to do it.
Oh, that was so nice of him.
And so Zach was like, me?
Yeah.
And Zach,
I
and
bet
Josh
that was like a bonding cry moment.
Oh yeah. Dude, Zach was so fucking stoked.
Yeah, I bet.
And Zach played. He came in
Zach like hella good?
Well, he's really into it.
Yeah.
But he kicked ass. He came in like second place, playing like one of the worst characters in the game.
Why did he choose?
Because that's his favorite character.
I love that.
So that was dope. We weren't there for Tron though. We were there for This Town Needs Guns.
Yeah.
And before, like on the way there, I was like, guys, I might cry. Nothing in this world makes me cry except for music.
Yeah.
Music I care about a lot makes me cry.
Yeah.
So they started playing, and I was singing. It probably sounded fucking awful, but I knew all the words. I knew every note. I knew every rhythm. They're fucking one of the most important things to me.
Yeah.
And I almost did cry. I had one tear well up and roll down my cheek.
Oh.
And I'm tearing up a little bit right now actually talking about it. I'm not even fucking joking.
It was a beautiful moment.
I mean, I was there with like 4 of my best friends in the world.
Yeah.
Like, if you'd have been there, it'd have been almost perfection.
I would have been like, suck that tear up, you little bitch.
It would have been almost perfection.
As someone shoves me into the floor.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to that in a second. So the first band that plays is Trico. They're this Japanese math rock band. They are fucking super talented. Their drummer is insanely good.
Yeah.
They play these chords I've never seen or heard before. Rhythms that are super strange but really energetic.
Mm-hmm.
They had so much energy. Their bass player was like 4'10", but she was like
Hell yeah.
a ball of death.
Hell
she was
yeah.
running and jumping. Her bass was longer than she was.
Oh,
and she was
hell
lifting
yeah.
it over her head and like playing in the air. They were insane.
Hell yeah.
They were fucking crazy.
I love a short woman just not giving a
And
fuck.
I mean, they're like straight up Japanese. They are Japanese natives. They barely spoke English, and they were singing Japanese. So fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, people singing Japanese is so fucking amazing. They were incredible.
Is it alternative music or is
it's math rock, so
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You don't really know much about.
I know I've heard.
But you got a general idea.
I just wasn't sure.
Idea.
I've heard you because you've shown me that before.
Yeah.
After the concert, but I just wasn't sure.
Every bit on this tour was very technical.
Yeah.
It's not about writing a catchy hook. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
2 of the bands don't even have lyrics.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Uh-huh.
So Trico played, then TTNG came on. TTNG fucking killed it. They were incredible. It was everything I wanted and more.
Yeah.
One of the most amazing experiences of my life. Then the next band played. They're called Polyphia.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the sphere that they're in. They are well known, but they're not. They're not on the fucking radio. They're not.
Yeah.
Going
like
platinum
you
or
said,
anything.
where they're known, they're well known.
Yeah. We are not huge fans of Polyphia, and this show made us even less fans of Polyphia because this band is basically 3 guys who hold instruments, and then 1 guy who's incredibly good at guitar.
Oh.
Yeah. He came out, he played. Yes, he's super talented. Yes, he can do crazy shit on the guitar, but there's just no soul to it. They didn't care. It was very clear that they didn't care that they were there.
Oh, I hate that.
And the bass player, they have no lyrics, but the bass player had a mic, and so he'd just be like, I want to see a pit open up. And it's like this twinkly, like very gentle shredding. You know what I mean?
Very gentle.
But when they started playing, the crowd fucking lost their shit.
They were like, it is time, bitch.
It is and it's so strange to say this, but this math rock show had the most intense moshing of anything I've ever been in. Slipknot, hardcore punk, doesn't matter. These people were going crazy. And Zach and Brett were not prepared for it.
Yeah.
I remember turning and looking at Zach, and there was genuine, like, distress in his face.
That's so sad.
He was not ready for it.
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't expecting it.
I was not expecting it.
Yeah.
These people lost their shit over this band. There was a guy who was probably just a couple inches shorter than me. This fucking huge white, bleach white afro.
Hell yeah.
And he had like a tank top, but one of the straps was like just gone. It looked like a
What?
caveman thing.
Oh, okay.
And this dude was fucking going at it. He was having a time.
I hope he lost it in the pit.
What do you mean?
I hope he lost that part of his shirt in the pit.
I doubt it. He looked like the guy who would have a caveman tank top. You know what I'm saying? He looked like a fucking little weasel man. Yeah. But he was taking people out. He's like a wrecking ball. You know, until he, came up to me and I was like, hey, calm down, bro. Hey. But I told Brett.
Non-verbally,
I was
like, beach.
Yeah, I was like, Zach and Brett, keep your mouth closed. Don't bite your tongue off. Don't break your teeth. Keep your elbows up or you will fucking fall. Because, like I said, these people are not kidding. And it wasn't like one dude would bump into you. It'd be like 40 people in a wave would just crash into you. Mm-hmm. So there were times where I almost fucking got knocked down. It was bad.
Wow.
Because there was a couple hundred people just on the floor, like, nuts to butts.
Nuts to butts.
Polyphia played a couple songs. Women were running up on stage and, like, kissing them. And they would literally stop playing to just, like, do stupid shit. And I know people are going to hear this thing, oh, they're just having fun or whatever. But it's like, it was beyond just like, oh, yeah, we're just doing a meme for fun. It just fucking slowed the show down. All these people were moshing for no good reason. We were just like, this isn't
angry music.
No, there's no reason to mosh. Like, yeah, you're excited, I get it, but
yeah,
we started this constant thing just like, Polyphia's okay, we don't hate them, to fuck this band. I wish they weren't on this show.
I feel bad for like Zach, who had genuine fear.
I mean, I don't know if he was scared. It was just like, I'm not ready for this to happen.
Yeah.
Because when TTNG and Trico were playing, everyone was just kind of like waving around like flowers in a field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we were all just
relaxing.
chilling. And then
some people are crying.
Fucking just went mental.
Yeah.
It was mayhem. There was one moment where Zach got pushed into my chest, and then I got pushed forward. And so
you're like, I'm gonna kill him.
I just wrapped him up, dude. I just wrapped him up. And then I was like, I'm sorry, man. He's like, thank you.
I love that. I wish I could have seen that.
And then people were like, everybody wanted a crowd surf. So, but instead of crowd surfing from the front to the back, they were crowd surfing from the back to the front. Yeah. Which happens, but I don't see it that often. Mm-hmm. So, there's dudes who are probably as heavy as me just coming to the front, and people are getting kicked. And this girl got literally kicked in the fucking face by a guy who was crowd surfing. And they'd hit a spot where it's just like weak people, and they just fall to the fucking ground. And this one was like, hey, bro, crowd surf my girlfriend. And he's this douchey looking guy. He's got a fade. You know, he's got the fucking douchey hair that every dude has now. He's like, hey, man, crowd surf my girlfriend. I was like, why can't you do it? He's like, I'm not strong enough. Just lift her up.
I'm not strong enough.
And I was like, what do you want me to do? He's like, just fucking pick her up. And he's like, just grab her ass. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. He's like, bro, please, come on. I know you can. So I was like,
is he really building you up like that?
Yes.
Oh my god.
And she was like, come on, lift me up. So I've now got my hand on this girl's ass cheek and like her calf, and then he's on the other side. And so we throw her up, and he's like, all right, bro, now throw me up. And I'm like, you can't just walk up and just start telling me to do shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm not grabbing your ass.
I'm
not
not
doing it. He's like, come on, man. And I don't know if he met up with his girlfriend again later, because she went all the way to the front, out of the crowd, over the barricade. I don't know what the fuck happened.
I would never want to fucking crowd surf.
I mean,
if
you're a girl,
if I trusted people, if it was like 100 Roberts,
yeah,
sure,
wholesome.
If it was just my friends and we're all trying to have a good time, and I had enough friends to crowd surf, which I don't, but if I did, yeah, I would love to crowd surf with my friends. I would lift my friends up and all that shit. But if it's other people, first of all, I'm not here to lift you up. I don't know you, and also, if I was to crowd surf, my titties, I would be so concerned for their well-being.
Dude.
My nips, my nops.
If you're a girl, don't crowd surf, because you're gonna get groped, you're gonna get punched, possibly.
If you're like hardcore and you're not afraid of any shit.
If you're not afraid of getting groped and molested by strangers, go for it.
You do you. But like, I am not that hoe.
But expect it to happen because people are shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you go. Some dude's gonna try and finger
like,
your butthole.
I see people crowd surf and I'm like, if we were all in a trusting, happy environment, what would be more fun than like passing people around and being a person passed around by other people? Because it's stupid. The idea of it's stupid, but it's like funny.
It's cool.
Like, it's like, oh my god, we're just people lifting other people up.
There was this one girl who fell right on her head.
Yeah, it's dangerous. You could die.
Because she hit, and, I'm not being mean, but she was a little heavier. She hit a patch of people that could not hold her up.
It's no one's job.
It's no one's job to surf you.
It's no one's job to surf you.
No one's job to surf you.
So it's like, what happens to you? Like, if you drop or whatever, like, that's on you. It's not their job to surf you.
Exactly. But Polyphia plays, all this crazy shit happens.
You and Zach are just like, shit.
I mean, Zach and Brett are surviving. Josh loves the mosh. He loves it. He fucking has a ball. And I do too. It's so much fun. Aaron, he doesn't really do it, but, he was into it. He was having fun. Then Chan plays. I love Chan. I've already seen Chan.
Mm-hmm.
I've stood
this
right
is
in.
Second time around with Chan.
I've stood directly in front of Chan as they played. You know what I mean? Like, if
Round
I really.
True for Chan.
Yeah. If I really want to, I could have reached out and touched Chan before. So I was like,
Chan's chode.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what, guys? Love you, appreciate you, God bless. I'm gonna go. Papa bless. I'm gonna go see if I can find TTNG. And I didn't have any of their records on vinyl or anything. And they had a merch table, so I was like, I'm going to go buy some merch. Go over there. Aaron's already beat me to it. And he's coming back. And he's like, Robert, not only are they selling everything, they are selling it. The band is selling it. They're all there.
Yeah.
And I was like, instantly became nervous.
Oh, no.
I don't get nervous, really, ever. But this situation, I was like, I don't know if I can do this, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, just go up there. Just go up there.
They're just people.
I go up there. The drummer, he is the one doing the main merch stuff. So the drummer and the guitar player are brothers. And then the singer is the second singer of the band. But he, he's amazing. A lot of people, kind of divided the audience. But I think he's great.
Anyway.
He wasn't there at first. So I buy the record, give him $20. He's like, all right, thanks, man. Have a good night. And I was like, you guys killed it. You guys are amazing. Blessing you guys for like 8 years now. He's like, that's incredible. Thank you so much. Blah, blah, blah. And then I walked away.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron's like, well, did you get your record? And I was like, yeah. Showed it to me. He's like, you didn't get it signed? I was like, nah, I'm not going to bother him. And Zach's like, fucking take the plastic wrap off the record. Go back over there and ask them to sign the record. And I was like, no, guys. I'm not going to be that guy who's, I'm not going to be some fan who's like, will you please do this for me? And Zach's like, Robert, I'm going to walk you over there, and you're going to get your fucking shit
You held me in the mosh pit. Now I'm going to hold you here.
Yeah. So I go back. There's no one in the line. Like, the line cleared out because Chan had really started playing now, so everybody kind of went back.
Yeah.
There's, like, a few stragglers. So I was like, hey, man, do you mind signing this? And he's like, oh, of course not.
Yeah.
So he signs it, and he's like, hey, come over here and sign this guy's record. And so he calls the other two members of the band over there.
I love when people are helpful to other people. Like, he probably was like, he might be a little nervous and doesn't want, because, like, that's why he probably was like, oh, you might want me to sign this, and then you walked away. Like, I feel like he could have, like, sensed it and been like, you know what? This one's for the good guys.
Yeah. So I didn't even ask for them to sign it or anything. He just instinctively like, hey, come over here and come sign this guy's record. So before they even signed the record, it's like, oh, what's your name? Stuck their hand up to shake my hand.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm Robert. I've been listening to you guys for like 8 years. You guys are my favorite band ever. And we took this opportunity to come see you. And they were like, oh, thank you for supporting. We're thankful for people like you. Blah blah blah. They were the sweetest, most down to earth dudes ever. They signed my record. I talked to them for like 10 minutes. And I was like, I can't wait to see you guys again. And they said, we might be coming back here pretty soon. And they are. in October, and we've already bought our tickets
Yee!
like 3 months in advance, and we're going. They all signed my shit. Talked to them for a while. Left the booth. Watched Sean for a little while. Then we left because my parents had texted me saying that their car had been stolen. So I was pretty bummed out about that. Pretty fucking angry. I'm not going to get into it now. But the show's pretty much over. We'd see John. We love him, but hey, it's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
We got to drive back to Alabama.
Yeah.
We did not have a hotel room or the money for a hotel room.
Slept.
We have not slept the night before. So we're going home. We drove home. We got back to Alabama probably like 5:45, 6 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah.
Daybreak. I fucking pass out in one of their roommates' rooms because he was in Cambodia or some shit for some Christian thing. And yeah, that was an incredible 36 hours-ish that I will never forget. And my favorite concert I've ever been to, hands down. So you want to go into the one you just went to last week?
Mine's so much less exciting than that. You built it up, you're like, I met my idols, all this shit. So, my entire life, forever, probably since I was 12 or so, I've been listening to Marilyn Manson. But my mother and everyone in my family, except for my middle sister, listens to country music and was never like
Probably
down.
thinks he's the devil too.
Was never down to take me to see him. He's only been to Alabama. That I can remember once or twice, and then he's coming again in October.
Probably not that much, yeah.
Yeah, and I know for sure he's been to Alabama once, not including what's coming, and he and Rob Zombie teamed up to go do the Twins of Evil tour part 2. A long time ago, there was a Twins of Evil tour 1, but it
was it still Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson?
It was Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson, but it ended up canceling out for some reason. Like something happened and they couldn't finish the tour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if they got halfway through the tour. And for a long time, they didn't like each other or something, so they didn't even try to rekindle it. They were like, we tried that, didn't work out, probably for a reason. I don't know. They just didn't do it. And when they announced Twins of Evil Tour 2, I saw it, and I bought the tickets as soon as it was possible to buy them. I bought them early. I think, what month is it? So,
August.
It's August. I think I bought the tickets in like January or February.
Shit.
Yeah. I bought the tickets then, and they were like, I'm glad I did, but I was so excited the first month I bought them, and then it was like something that's never going to happen. August was so far away, and I was like excited, and then I was like, I need to stop being excited, blah, blah, blah. So time passes, and the tour starts, and I'm like, a good bit of these shows are being canceled. That makes me kind of nervous. Because, like, listen, team, like, Marilyn Manson, I've been listening to him forever, and I love his old music, but as a person, he's not very reliable, and he has some habits that make him even more unreliable.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very nervous because I have noticed that it looks like he might be going down that health a little bit. His health may...
Going down that health department a little bit.
Going down. It looks like
he got about 5 years
he could be doing
left.
some drugs, and like he could be doing some hard and heavy stuff more frequently than maybe he does. So as time was getting closer, I was getting more and more less excited because I was like, this concert's in Atlanta. This might be one of the smallest ones they do.
Yeah.
If he's canceled these shows, is he even gonna give a shit?
What are the odds? Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so I know I've seen Rob Zombie before. I know he's gonna put on a good show. My sister, Kirsten, my middle sister, has been listening to Rob Zombie more than me, has been listening to him forever, and she listened to Marilyn Manson when she was, like, going through shit. So that's, like, her, instead of being sad and emo about it, like me, with My Chemical Romance and 21 Pilots, she went the angry route.
She was all angry.
She was angry when she was going through her shit.
You, Mom.
Yeah,
Fuck the world.
exactly. So Marilyn Manson was, like, it for her. She was super excited, and then she was like, when is it? And I was like, it's in August. And she's like, that's 100 months away.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, well, whatever. That's what we gotta do.
Yeah.
And so, finally the time comes, and it is it's the day before the concert.
Mm-hmm.
And I've taken off work because it was a weekday concert. And I go to Kirsten, and I'm like, oh, hey, man, we're probably going to leave around noon. And she's like, when? What do you mean? What are you talking about? And I was like, excuse me, what? We're leaving around noon tomorrow to get to the concert. And she had no idea that the concert was the next day. And I was very upset because I was like, are you excited or are you not excited?
That's a very Kirsten thing to do.
That is such a Kirsten thing. And she starts panicking. She says, I have not prepared for this.
What do they
I don't have my outfit ready. I don't have
her outfit.
She has a child at home,
She's
she's like, I don't have my outfit ready. I don't know what I'm wearing. I don't know what I'm going to do with my makeup. I have 100 things to go think about. It's like, sure, she has a kid at home, but it's kind of like we're neighbors, so she can just
drop them off to your parents, but still.
Yeah, no one's prepared except for me.
Yeah.
And I'm just there, and so she's texting me, and she's like, I don't know what to wear. Should I wear this? So finally, the next day, we are on our way to Atlanta. Kirsten is panicking.
Everything's sorted.
Kirsten is still panicking. And I'm just, like, driving to Atlanta. We make it there, and it is in Atlanta.
You didn't mention that Dalton went.
Oh, it's me, Kirsten, and Dalton. Dalton doesn't... He kind of will listen to Marilyn Manson, but does not super care. Kirsten cares too much, and I care, but I don't care too much, and I don't not care. I'm a higher end neutral.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, cool. We're all on these different hype levels, and finally we make it there. We wait outside for an hour in the fucking Atlanta heat.
Yeah,
we're just sitting there.
The same shit.
There's some people behind us being horrible. There's a vape god to our left with his cotton candy vape, and I'm like, fuck off. And then, like, I have concerns about getting sunburned, but finally we make it in. We get some drinks. I made that sound weird. Now my mom's gonna question if she listened to it. We drank water, and Dalton was refusing to drink anything because he didn't want to have to pee during the show. And so we are in our seats, and we're pretty close, and it's very exciting.
It looks really close in the pictures.
Yeah, it was, like, front middle.
Yeah.
Like, it was sectioned into 4 parts. There was the very front, where there's no seats, the middle, the back, and then there was, like, a grassy area.
Yeah.
So we were in the middle, like, the second section at the front. So we had seats, but we could still, like, see everything. It was really nice. And this band called Deadly Apples, that I had never heard of in my life, opened up. And me and Kirsten were looking them up, and it turns out this tour was the first time they had performed in 8 years. And apparently, I don't know if they're like one-hit wonders or if I don't know how popular they used to be. But me and Kirsten are looking them up. They're from Ontario. Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
And
is that the worst band name ever?
No.
Deadly Apple.
I've heard some. I don't know. I'm sure there's...
Podcast idea.
They like Snow White,
the
maybe.
Worst band names.
Yeah. So, they open up. There's 2 guys who you can tell have not been dedicated to that band life. They look like regular dads. They're in t-shirts, pants, and one of them's a drummer, the other one's like a guitarist. And then this other guy, like, sprints out on stage. He's wearing just, like, these tight pants and this leather fringe jacket. And it's like, he's just dancing. He's going insane. He's doing all this stuff. He's having a great time.
How old are they?
Dad age. They are...
40s?
mid-30s to early 40s. But I would like to put it in here, I'm really bad at age.
Yeah.
Like, they could straight up be like almost 50. Like, I am so bad with age. But
they're just like, they could be in their 20s. They could be old. They could be like super old.
Like, literally, they could be 14-year-olds or they could be 70-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I would be like, oh, because I'm really not good at that. But this guy's going insane. He takes off his jacket, and he's just like, everybody's just like playing the drums. They're playing the guitar, and then he just like walks over this keyboard they have on the side, and he just starts playing keyboard, and we're like, oh, okay. And then this other guy comes out, and like,
is he the singer?
Yeah, he's
okay.
wearing this fedora, and he has on like this long coat, and he starts like singing this like old hardcore emo music, like if you think about like him and Korn.
Yeah.
It was kind of that kind of vibe, like really close to him. And I was like crying. Me and my sister were crying, laughing, because this guy comes out there that we just assume is the lead singer because he is the hypest man in the world.
So much energy.
And then we kind of figure out that like he's not even playing keyboard; it's a soundboard. So the best part about it is that he doesn't have to be there.
He's just the hype man.
Oh, he's just the hype man. They have a hype man in their band.
He's pressing buttons on a sampler. That's all he's doing.
He's the hype man, though, and I thought that was so funny that they were like, listen, any one of them could press that one button,
the
and
singer
then they
could
have
do that,
the
no
setup
problem.
for the rest of the thing. But he is such an exciting, happy, fun guy that they were
brings
like,
the energy.
We need him.
Yeah.
So there's this super emo guy singing, the two dads in the back. And then there's this like younger looking man who is hype. He is having the time of his life, and he is not aware at how more energetic.
Cringy.
No. Oh. It was funny. Like, this one guy's over there being all emo. He's doing emo stuff, singing emo words.
Cutting himself.
Yeah, he's like
spraying blood on the crowd.
Like, he keeps on like the lead singer has the microphone, and he kept on like throwing it on the stage and like chunking it, and then there was like people on the side whose job it was to run out there and grab it.
Run it all crouched down.
Yeah, and then they would like grab it and they'd put it on the microphone stand, and they'd run out, and then he
pick
would
it up and throw it.
Yes, and then he like would grab the mic stand, and then he would throw it, and then he would go and kick it, and then he would do something else, and then these other people like race out there and turn it upside down.
He's playing fetch with humans.
Yeah, meanwhile this other guy is just like finger gunning. He's like kicking his legs up in the air. He is having the time of his life, and the two dads are just doing their job.
Yeah, they're just there to play the music.
They're doing their job, and it was super great. Like, my sister ended up actually really liking the music because she is a bigger fan of him. Mm-hmm. And I was never really a him
as soon
person.
as you said him, I was like, Kirsten probably really liked it.
Kirsten was really into it. I was really into the super hype guy out there having the best time of his life, living his best years.
Could have just been him.
It could have just been him and that one emo guy singing the song. Like, the dynamic
was great.
Was amazing. It's super emo fedora man, and then there's fringe jacket, finger guns.
Did he tip the fedora at any point?
No, he was just wearing it. I think at some point the fedora came off. Oh, they kept on like, they were like just giving the stage hands the time of their life. They were like, their stage hands here to pick up after me. Like, I'm gonna fucking take advantage of that.
Put him to work.
Yeah, so they're like throwing shit. The guy has to run out there and grab it and fix it. And then they like open a water bottle. Like, him and the hype man are like opening water bottles, taking a sip, chunking it into the crowd.
Why?
And then the next guy would come out there and replace the water bottle. He would drink like max half of it before throwing it into the crowd. At one point, he was just throwing whole water bottles at people. He's like,
he's just taking a piss.
He's like, hey, listen, Canada has free healthcare. I'm gonna give you this free water care. And he's just hydrating this crowd. The stage hands are like endless amounts of water, just letting him have it. It was a lot of fun. I loved it. So much fun. And then we had to go to the bathroom, and a lot of the stalls were missing the doors.
Sick.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add that in there really quick. I didn't see anyone's hoo-ha. Didn't see anyone use them, but I'm sure there was people using them by the end of the night, because there was almost only alcohol. Like, it was insane.
Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson? You're going to have, like, trashy, drunk people. And it's in the South, too.
There was much less drunk people than I thought there was going to be. Because I saw, and they were straight up selling whole bottles of wine. You could buy I had never seen that. I've been to concerts before where you could get, like, mixed drinks and, like, shots or whatever. but straight up, you could buy wine by the bottle. And I had never seen that except for, like, in a convenience store.
That's like that Greco-Roman style.
It was insane. And there's these people just, like, drinking, and I'm just like, I'm just here to stay hydrated because I was out there in that sun,
I'm dying from...
I am dying from influenza. Not really, but that's how it felt. It was so hot. It was so hot. And then so... Back at our seats, I'm feeding Dalton ice cubes because he's been going through a sickness and he can't really eat or drink a whole lot without getting sick. So I'm like feeding him ice cubes every 30 minutes. And then Marilyn Manson heckin' comes out, and it hasn't hit me yet because I had been convincing myself he was going to cancel and his show was going to be him like walking out on the stage, throwing up, and then rolling around in it and then leaving. I was like, it's not even going to be a thing. It's going to be the worst show. I'm going to be very upset, and that's what I've been telling myself the whole time because I love Marilyn Manson. Like, I had a huge crush on him when he was young. I loved him. And he comes out, and he starts performing some of his newer music, which I don't really listen to. So I'm just kind of standing there, like, watching him. I'm just observing. I'm like, is that Marilyn Manson?
What, do you think it's a double?
I don't know. I'm just watching it, man. I'm not quite convinced. Like, I did not think I was going to see Marilyn Manson.
Well, you look at him now, he's like a melting candle. Yeah. He looks like a melting candle.
I hate to admit it. I used to be so attracted to him, and now I'm like,
You know when you go to relight the candle for round 2, like the next day?
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, so, like, I'm sitting there, and my sister is going insane, and I'm, like, just joking around with her. I'm like, hey, Kirsten, that's Marilyn Manson up there. And then she's like, looks at me and she's tearing up. Kirsten almost cried. I have pictures of it. I love it. It's like her hands are on her face. She's looking at Marilyn Manson, and then she turns to me and there is visible tears welling up in her eyes. And meanwhile, he's like, do you fuck the government? Do you hate Jesus? All this stuff, it's like not crying music.
His usual shtick.
I mean, I was just like doing like a funny thing. That's not what was happening.
Yeah.
But like, he's singing like his...
Yeah.
And like, Kirsten is crying, which is, once again, a good point of contrast right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got this one guy up there singing angry music, and then girl crying to it.
Yeah. And
I was like, that's kind of iconic. I like that. So, I'm sitting there, and then I go to Kirsten, like I said, and I said, that's Marilyn Manson. And then I look at it, and I realize that's Marilyn Manson.
It's not some weird body double.
It's not some weird thing. I have had these tickets for like half a year plus. I have been telling myself how horrible it's going to be. And here I am. And that's Marilyn Manson. Mm-hmm. And like, it hit me. And I was like, no way. Because I've been watching him on YouTube.
Exactly. I was about to say that. When you see people on video for so long, and you listen to their voice for so long, and then they're actually there.
And I just was sitting there in utter disbelief that I was here.
Yeah.
This isn't like, I had many a dream about this concert happening. Like actual, like all these different concert-related dreams. And here I am, IRL, in real life. That's Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
And I turn and I look at Kirsten, and she looks at me and she's like, it's finally hitting you.
Yeah. You
were so dead like the first 5 minutes of this concert. That's Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. And
we just kept on saying that. We're like, that's Marilyn Manson. That is Marilyn Manson. And he started singing his older music, and he did like this whole era performance. It was so good. He started off, and he was wearing outfits that relate to that era, and he would change, and then he'd do the next album, and he just, it was so good. An hour.
Okay.
He performed for an hour, and it was amazing, and I was so happy because I had just convinced myself it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to happen, and I was going to be upset, and then it happened, and it was the most amazing. He did such a great job. He was very interactive with the audience. He was all over, up and down. He was just like, he was there to do his show. And it was great. And it was amazing. And me and Kirsten just kept on just looking. That's Marilyn Manson. Yeah. I would like look up at the screen, so I'd zoom up at him, and I could see his close-up. And I would kind of realize
that
this is not YouTube Marilyn Manson. This is a real person.
This is in the flesh.
This is a person.
You're looking at melting candle in the eyes.
I'm looking the melting candle in the eyes.
Yeah.
And that was insane because it was cool to see him where I couldn't see like his face because we were close but not that close.
Yeah.
So he was performing and he didn't look old and drunk. And then you look over at the big Jumbotron and he is not 20-year-old Marilyn Manson doing all these horrible, vulgar things. He was doing vulgar things, but he was
with less
a grown-ass man doing these vulgar things, which was great, but is not
as cool as in the 90s.
I don't know, man. It was like very cool, but also kind of people. It's like one of those moments where you realize that life is real and people age, and that person on the internet is an actual person just like you, and they are gonna age.
Yeah.
So that happened. It was really great. And Rob Zombie came out. This is the second time I ever saw Rob Zombie, and this is the only person that I've ever seen in concert twice. And he did an amazing show, just like he did last time. The only complaint, it's not even a real complaint, but it was the same show as when he came to the amphitheater, basically. There was a few differences. There was a few different cooler props and stuff. But the same songs have the same projected backgrounds, I noticed. And of course, Living Dead Girl and the House of a Thousand Corpses songs are going to have the corresponding things. But there's other songs that have the same projections and props, which is still, the props are still just as cool. There's this like big alien guy when he sings the UFO song. And he comes out, and he's super cool, but I've seen this man.
Been there, done that.
I've seen this man. So I'm sure Kirsten had a much better time. But Rob Zombie is always very crowd interactive. And he was crowd surfing. He was running around the audience. And me and Kirsten got pretty close to him because we left our seats and we ran to this like aisle area. And he ran right by us.
That's cool.
Yeah, we got really close. And it was
just
really
this 90-year-old man with dreads running around.
And he's just running. Like, he does not know that he's, old.
He doesn't know where he is, probably.
Like, I had this like idea where it's like he used to not take good care of himself, like he used to drink and do all these drugs, and I don't know if he still does drugs anymore, but I know that now he's like vegan and living that health life.
That's weird.
There's this thing where people live to be 100 plus, and it's because they drink a gallon of whiskey every day and smoked meth.
Ate a pine cone every morning.
And it's like,
weird
because they took such bad care of themselves, the insides have like fossilized and crystallized.
Preserved.
And they're very preserved from all the alcohol and drugs.
This is not science at all.
But like when you see people in the news and they're like, oh, what's your health thing? And then they're either like, I drink a glass of whiskey a day and I smoked meth in my 20s. And then there's the next really old person who is in pristine condition, runs 3 miles a day, only eats carrots on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's because of my health. Rob Zombie has done both those lifestyles.
He's not going to live over 100.
So I think he might achieve the middle of I have taken absolutely no care of myself and all of the care of myself.
Well, he's rich. It's easy to take care of yourself when you're rich.
Exactly. But it's like, I think that's why he's old and it doesn't matter and he's still putting on that great show is because like not only are his insides crystallized and preserved, he's pre-embalmed, but on top of it he's eating all the health food to keep those last few cells really going. Really going.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably a good reason as to why
he still can do all this stuff.
He can still do all that because I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, that would bum me out. If it was the same shtick, that would bum me out.
They had like a few new things that was kind of cool, but it was like, I realized really quick what I saw then is what I'm going to see now, which doesn't super take away from it. He's still a very good performer. If I ever see him again and it's the same thing, I probably wouldn't see him unless he decided to do like a I'm quitting thing. But yeah, that's really it. I guess that's all of the concerts I've ever been to thus far. I have a few planned for the future. My oldest sister Ashley wants to go see Pink. She's really into like those 90s people. No, listen, I know the music isn't something that you'd be into, but she does like acrobatic stuff. She does like acrobatics in her shows, and she will straight up hang from like those silken
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And like will go around the BJCC. So I'm really excited for her show.
That's a good way to put it.
I never listen to her music. I know like the traditional songs.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited for her show because she is a performer. She is an athlete. She is nonstop, and I'm very excited for that. And you're gonna go see.
I'm gonna go see Pt2 again in October. It'll be their 10-year anniversary tour for their first album. So they're gonna play a normal set. Then they're gonna play their first record from start to finish with the original singer.
That's amazing.
So the original singer, he had a kid not long after they released their first album. So he's like, I can't do college, a band, and a kid.
Yeah, gotta choose one.
So he's like, I gotta quit the band.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's coming back for this tour, and we're gonna get to see the original singer sing these songs.
That's awesome.
Which hasn't happened in 10 years.
And you guys can see us on Instagram and on Twitter at YAW_podcast.
And if you loved it or if you hated it, please leave us a review.
And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for listening and rock on!
Yeah, fuck off.